Hi everybody, so today we're going to look at the options list. So it's going to be me talking you through what options are available on the California beach. Now just to clarify, we've been doing this on the camping version because obviously we've been looking at the California lineup. So I'm not talking about tour today, beach tour, we're talking about the beach camper version. So I'm going to run through the options list that's with it, what you can get, how they all work together, any tidbits or any advice on what I think is worth having and not having. So let's get into it as normal. So obviously first thing with the camper, there's only one model derivative, one engine wise, so that's the 150 DSG, so that's nice and easy. I'm not going to go through all the colours, we've done a colour video before, put a link up somewhere here for a colour video, so you can have a look at the different colours that are available there. So we've got your standard solids, you've got metallics, you've got two-tone colours as well that's in there. So we're talking about the actual options that's on the vehicle. And I suppose one of the first decisions to be making is your seating arrangements that you have in the vehicle. So on the back of the vehicle, obviously it comes standard with that 2-seat bench, which we've seen in there, with the option to have a 3-seat bench within the back of the vehicle as well. Now I've not shown you one as yet with the 3-seat bench in there. We have seen them before within that variation of the beach and the tour models that are there, and once we get one we can show you how that works as well. But that's the first thing really is deciding when you're looking at the options list, is whether you're going to stick with the 2-seater bench or whether you're going to move to the 3-seater bench. And obviously if you do move to the 3-seater bench, you are going to lose some of the cupboards, which are down the side section that's on there. You won't lose the kitchenette or anything like that that comes with it. You're purely just losing that first cupboard, which is on the end of that row, obviously, because you've got the longer extended bed that's there as well. So if, for example, for the purposes of this, we'll say that we're not having the 3-seat bench as we go through for a minute, you then got the option to have an additional swivel seat, and that sits in front of the bench seat. It's the 5th seat, which is mentioned a lot when we're looking at coast and ocean models as well, and that would sit just in front of the bench, which will allow you during the week to carry 5 people in there rather than having the 3-seat bench. Obviously you'd have one or the other. You can't have an additional seat on top of the 3-seat bench before that's there. That option's about £480 as an option to have that single seat. If it is something you're looking at buying, I would advise to get it from the factory, because trying to find a match for that seat later on, and I think I've said this before, is if you can't just buy a seat from parts department, for example, that's in here, you'd have to buy all the individual pieces, which are very, very expensive, and obviously somebody's got to put all that together. Even if you could get all the bits, we've never done it. It's here as well, that's with it, so I would advise you to get that from the start. Moving on. Next up is alloy wheels, plenty to choose from here. We've got our usual, the Terracinas and the Palmerston alloys, which are both the 18-inch variation that's there as well. The vehicle comes standard with the 17-inch alloy wheels, so you can upgrade, for example, to Woodstock for free of charge. That's a great upgrade, I think, if you are looking at it, depending on what colour choices you've gone for. Those Woodstock are the black and silver, like two-tone wheels. I've put those on lots of vehicles that we've had on the camping vehicle model, because it's a no-cost option, but it does make it look a little bit different. Quite nice it's there. If you do move up to those 18-inch wheels, they start at about £950, moving to the Palmerstons, which is £1,272. So again, depending on what you're looking at from on there. One thing to bear in mind, if you do go up for the 18-inch wheels, you do lose your spare wheel that's on the vehicle as well, so you'll have no spare wheel with that. From an order perspective, you could add it later on, but you need to buy the cradle and the spare wheel and everything that goes with it. Still on the wheel section, we have talked about, we've got all-season tyres, which is an option. It's £168 for that, if you want to add that, that's on there as well. We've got things like alloy wheels spare, so if you stick with the 17-inch, you can have an alloy wheel spare. That's £282. So it's quite a lot, where normally you'd have a steel that's there. I'm personally not a huge fan of having an alloy wheel spare wheel. I think it's, you've got a steel that's underneath the vehicle anyway, that's ready to go and on the vehicle. You'd only need that as a temporary measure, and then you'd go and get a new tyre or whatever the case was for the reason why you'd taken the original wheel off, I think, in the first place. So next big one is the navigation unit. So obviously you can have navigation in there, so your standard setup works with App Connect. We've been through those before. and you can upgrade to the navigation unit. That's £1,356. As I've said all the way along with these as well, is you do have to be a little bit careful, I think, when you're looking at beach variation going to coast and to the ocean model. It's not as bad with the beach as we would do between coast and ocean, because the beach is a slightly different proposition, because obviously you haven't got all of the full cooking equipment and the cupboards and everything else that goes with it. So you've got a lot more space that's inside the vehicle. So it's a little bit more of a unique vehicle that's with there. But just bear that in mind as well. Is so what are you getting with that navigation system? You're getting a bigger screen. Then you've got the streaming and internet functions that's there. But as I said, you have got App Connect available with the standard stereo, which is on there. It is also as well, you can connect your App Connect wirelessly as well with the navigation system, which is quite nice, I suppose. But as I said, it's a large amount of money for to put those from in there. So. And then we have the storage pack, which we spoke about before, which gives you and this is only available on the 2-seat bench option, and it creates an extra hole at the side, so you've got an extra drawer under the seat, and then you'd also have the storage above, the storage net above your head, which is when you're sitting on the driver and passenger seats. So moving on from there onto some of the driver assistance options, so fog lights with cornering function, £432, and you want that's in there. It's quite self-explanatory. High beam control, this is the one that turns off your main beams when things are coming towards you, £168. LED headlights, quite a big option, just under £1,400. It is great LEDs, they are great if you're going to be using the vehicle a lot at night. I think it's well worth the investment. If you're not, maybe something that you decide you want to leave off the options list that's there. We've got lights and visions pack, £312, nice option, lets you turn your lights on, leave them on, they come on and off as you go in and out of tunnels and things like that. Active lane assist with side assist, this is what keeps you in a lane as you're driving out and about. It's in there on motorways and things like that. Quite a large expense, £1,400 for that's on there as well, so quite a large amount that's going up from there. We have our driver assistance package plus, which is £3,000, which includes a lot of the other things that we've just been talking about, but that puts in things like, for example, high beam control is standard in there, traffic sign recognition is standard that's in as well. So if you're getting that pack, it does cost £3,000, but it is a bit cheaper to get that pack than individually break them up that's in there as well. But it is a lot that you're adding to these things as you go through. Parking sensors, got pretty much 3 things to do with parking. So we've got parking sensors front and rear, £564, great option. I think it's not a must, but near enough a must. I think you definitely benefit from having that on the vehicle. You can have that with park assist, which is £906. That's what actually reverses and puts you into a parking space. Do you really need that? Depends on your parking, I suppose. And then rear view camera. Rear view camera is £300. My advice, I think the 2 things which are really good is the parking sensors and the rear view camera. Those are the 2 things which I think make a big difference. Personally, I'd probably pick the parking sensors as number 1, rear view camera is number 2. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And final 2 in the driver assistance section, we've got traffic sign recognition. To get this, you do need to have the navigation system, because it's part of that navigation system, and it will warn you where you've got coming to different zones that's there. I've mentioned App Connect before, I mentioned it again. If you have things like Google Maps and App Connect, then you've got a route planned in there, it will tell you what speed certain roads are and things like that, as another option for in there. So, and then we're moving on to trailer assist. This is tow bars. So obviously if you need a tow bar, which we'll come on to in a second, you might, for example, want to look at trailer assist. And there is 2 different packages for them, which is in here, which is standard pack, £1,248, which includes front and rear parking sensors. So bearing in mind the front and rear parking sensors was £564, so you've got to take that off that to give you an idea. And then you can also have it as well with park assist as well, and rear view camera as a whole at £1,488. Now if you do not have a tow bar and you are going to be towing with the vehicle, I think that's not a bad option price, because by the time you've added in all the other things as well, if you're going to have them as well, I don't think that's a bad thing. But if you're going to be doing towing with the vehicle, and it's going to be something that you need. Okay, moving on to the fuel tank. So you can have an 80 litre fuel tank for £84. Standard 70 litre fuel tank. This gives you the extra 80 litre fuel tank. I've seen lots of people ordering this. Love to know what your thoughts are on it. Does 10 litres extra really make a big difference? I'm not sure myself, but I'm sure everybody else will have an opinion on that. Next option is the DCC, Dynamic Chassis Control, £1,476. Very big option that's on this. If you're looking at something like an Ocean, we do occasionally get people that order it on the Ocean. I don't think I've had anybody order it on a beach model. I think I've said before is if you do fit that, you can't then lower the vehicle at any stage, or if you want to do anything like that for it. So I think that's quite it's one of those options we don't see a great deal that's there, but it is there as an option, and basically that changes the dynamics of the vehicle when you're driving to suit your particular driving style at that time. Electric side door, spoken about this at length many a times, but electric side door, it's a nice option during the week. Is it a great one for on a campsite? Again, love to know what your thoughts are. I'm not hugely with that really, because it makes the beeping noise as it shuts and it closes. Doesn't make as much beeping noise as it does now on the 6.1. They have changed it because they've changed the way the door mechanism works slightly. So it isn't as intrusive as it used to be. But as an option, it's £384. It is great during the week. You know, if you want to get the, for example, if you've got children, you want to let them in the vehicle, you press a button on your dash, door electrically opens, you're able to get out and get in. And then we've got moving on to 3-zone climate control, £1,002, and this gives you the 3-zone, so it splits between the front passenger and driver and the rear of the vehicle, and it just gives you those air conditioning vents in the rear of the vehicle as well. I would mention at this point on things like this, for example, this one in particular, you do have to be a little bit careful with which options you pick. So some options will only go with other options which are in there as well. So obviously if you're ordering one of these, you can give us a ring, give the local van centre a ring and go through and just make sure that everything you want is actually orderable. You can actually order it with all of those things combined that's in there. You can do that on the configurator online, but the configurator online isn't the actual ordering system, and there are still a few factory questions that are in there as well, reference that. So always worth getting that checked before you obviously proceed, so you know you're 100% that everything you want you can get on there as well. Auxiliary heater with programmable function and radio remote control. I'll read out exactly as it is there. £2,352. This is what is standard in the Coast and the Ocean model. So this is your diesel heater. This is, if you want a heater in the vehicle, this is a great option. If you're going to be on campsites a lot, for example, and you're going to be plugged into mains power that's in there, you can plug a heater, an electrical heater that's in as well, and that will obviously then you could charge an electrical heater off that and just as a fan heater and use it from there as well. But if you're planning on doing a lot more off-grid things like that, it is certainly something that's worth considering putting in, and it is all nicely incorporated. You've got it in the head-up display. Tow bars we've mentioned about, but I'll just briefly say it. So tow bar preparation, £270. That basically just gives you a socket in the back which is accessible for the likes of us as van centres, and then if we want to then fit one later on to that vehicle, it's a lot easier because the wiring from the front to the back of the vehicle is already there. That's essentially what that is. And then the tow bar itself, the removable tow bar, £780. If you want a tow bar, that's the way to go. Definitely getting it from the factory. It's all incorporated and done whether you need one that's there. First aid kit with warning triangle and safety vest, £66. I'm pretty sure, and unless it's changed recently, but you're basically paying £66 for the safety vest, because the first aid kit and the warning triangle you get with the vehicle. Moving on to the windows, on here. So sliding window in front with fixed window in rear, and this is on the driver's side. It's on the driver's side of the vehicle, £228. Then you've got the option of sliding window with fly screen compartment left. fly screen compartment right. Now then, the left one is £120 and the right one is £342. And the reason for that difference, which you might do for a fly screen, but it's the actual window, sliding window. So on this model you get a sliding window as standard on the passenger side of the vehicle. And if you want to get a fly screen for that, it's £120. That's basically what these options are all talking about here. And then if you want to get, for example, if you want to get a window on the other side, it's £228. But if you want it with a fly screen, it's £342. So that's what you've got to really work out, is do you really want the fly screens? Are they worth the money that's in there as well? I have been reliably informed that mid-Gs are too small and go straight through it if you're up in Scotland. So there we go. And obviously you also have the option there of privacy glass as well. Great option. Think privacy glass is a must. I'm sure there's reasons why, but you very rarely see vehicles without the privacy glass fitted. It's £360, great option. I really think it really adds to the vehicle from a perspective of heat and the look of the vehicle as well. I think it makes a big difference. Heated windscreen, £504. I'm personally not a huge fan of heated windscreens, only because they cost a fortune to replace. But saying that, they are very, very good, because you just press a button, it comes on, and it's all working for you as well. Most people, in fairness as well, for your windscreens, have got a windscreen cover, which you might have that's on there, so you'll be all right anyway then, because it's not going to cost you the whole thing to replace it that's there as well. But as I said, it's a big option to put on if you want it from on there. Last couple that's on here are not too far off now. So wing mirrors, electrical folding wing mirrors, 174. If you need wing mirrors that fold in electrically, it's a good option. If not, in the times when you do need to move it, you can just manually move them up as well. Upgraded battery and increased alternator capacity, £264. What you get with the vehicle as standard, I think is more than adequate for the vehicle. And this option is more to do, it's an option that's in all of the ranges that's here as well. And if I remember right, I think this is more actually to do with your stop-start that's in there as well, so it's more for multi-drops and things like that that's in there as well. But you can get that as an option on the vehicle. Option of canvas sides, which is because of the panoramic window, so the pan window on the front, brilliant option this, £276. I think every vehicle should have this on. I think if you open it once on a nice sunny morning when you wake up and open your vehicle, it'll put a smile on your face, I'm sure it will. You'll be thinking that was the best £276 that I spent. So I think this is a great option. I put it on all of our stock vehicles for obvious reasons, and I think it just really adds to the vehicle. I think it's just a nice option that's there as well. Bed extension with sleeping mat, again, great option, really, really good, £324. I'd have this on whichever vehicle you have, but especially if you're going for a 3-seat bench. If you're going for a 3-seat bench, you've got to get the comfort mattress. It's moulded in so that when the mattress, so effectively your seat's like that and it goes like this, and obviously as you can imagine you've got a lot more cutouts in that seat with a 3-seat bench. So the comfort mattress is a must, because it sits in properly within those as well, and makes a big difference that it comes on there. So definitely get the comfort mattress if you've got a 3-seat bench. Last couple, I'm sure there's definitely last couple here. Interior light concept for the vehicle, £330. So this gives your lighting up top. So you have little buttons in the top of the vehicle, and you've got lighting that's in there instead. Normally, as standard, you've got the 12-volt socket, and you can actually plug a light into there as well. 32-litre insulated cool stroke warm box, £348. If you want a cool box that's on there, it is a very good cool box. It comes with a tray that locks into the floor, so it doesn't move around. That's in there as well. It's 32 litres. Cool boxes, I get asked lots and lots about cool boxes for the vehicle. You know, what's the best ones that you can buy? Have you got any advice on what I should put in? Is it this one? Is it that one? There's a whole range of them, and they range massively in price. You know, and the top of those, you've got Dometic. They do a brilliant one, which is a two fridge one, which has got a freezer and a fridge, separate compartments. I think it's about £1,000–1,200, which is a huge amount of money. But at the same time, it's absolutely brilliant. It runs off the batteries that's there, has dual purpose, etc., that doesn't use a huge amount of energy. So it really does depend on what you're using the vehicle for, how much you're going to be away with, how much you're going to be off grid, and when you're using these vehicles as well. I'd love to do a video and show you all the different types of fridges and freezers and things like that you can get for them. It's something that interests me. I've got several different types of cool boxes myself that I've used over the past, but if we can, we will try at some point. And then we're on to awnings. Standard black awning, if you want to upgrade to a silver one, if you're going for two-tone, that upgrade is £726, so it's quite a lot to upgrade for that, but then if you're going for a two-tone colour or something like that, you might wish to do so. Direct tyre pressure monitoring, £180. It's quite self-explanatory what that is. The art velour interior, so you can have the suede stroke leather or leather look interior in the vehicle, £1,266. I've seen that on a few beaches. It looks really nice, just gives a nice combination between the two, and obviously that also as well determines your interior colour of the actual vehicle inside it, of what you actually get in the darkness that's in there as well. We've got heated seats. So for example, if you wanted that art velour, you have to have heated seats as an option. This is these things that go together, which we spoke about before. That's £378. 4 remote keys, 126. Easy enough, that's on there as well. And then final, last option, mud flaps. Front and rear mud flaps, 168. I've spoken about mud flaps as long as I can come in and out, so I'm sure if you've watched any of my videos, you know what my opinion on mud flaps is. You either want them or you don't. £168 for your mud flaps. And that's everything which is on the options list. There are one or two specialist options depending on what you've had, and those things are like heavy duty jack and things like that, which I haven't got into for obvious reasons because they're not things that people would generally ask for. That's there. So I hope that gives you a good rundown of all the different options that are available. That's on the beach model. You can find all these on the configurator, so on the online configurator, on their main website that's on there. Also on there's all the latest brochures. Definitely worth having to check those out as well, because they'll list all the different options that's in there as well. And then obviously you can use the video then to put all that together to come up with the options list of what your ideal spec for one of these would be. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It makes a big difference to the channel that's here as well with those numbers. And we'll see you again next time.